This is the GMC Sierra EV Denali. There's a lot of big about this truck, but the two that I can think of right now, big range, big price. Actually, you know what? Let's make that 3, because that is room for big stuff. Yes, that midgate is pretty impressive, but we'll get to that a little later. So, there are 2 versions of the Sierra EV Denali, one that gets a range of 390 miles, not bad, but if you get the available max range option, that's going to deliver an estimated 460 miles. So that means that you could drive from LA to Vegas in one shot. You could drive from New York to Boston in one shot. You could drive from Dallas up to Chicago, do an overnight, charge overnight, and get there no sweat. Okay, so you get what I'm saying about the range. It's impressive. Even more impressive is its DC fast charging capable to 350 kilowatts. So that's a quick 100 miles in about 10 minutes. If, of course, you can find a working 350 kilowatt charger. There, I'll say that part out loud too, but it's getting better. When it comes to power, you're looking at 760 horsepower, 785 pound-feet of torque. That is a pretty impressive set of numbers. Now that is going to be for the max range version of this Sierra EV. If you get just the extended range, then you're looking at 645 horsepower. You're still, though, going to get that 785 pound-feet of torque. That's a really good number. Okay, so I said there's a lot big about it, and here's more big stuff. 24-inch wheels, this massive 16.8-inch vertical screen that only gets you Google built in, no Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You also get a 14-inch head-up display. You're gonna get leather interior, open-pore wood, so handsome, right? With these quilted and perforated seats. Love it. Also, there's a Bose sound system in here, a massive panoramic glass roof, which will have an accessory that covers it when it gets hot. I feel like we need to move away from these. They're not a good idea. There's also some great storage in here, including this phone charger, which inductively charges through this wood, not plastic or rubber. And it moves aside to reveal a big cubby under here. The exterior might be a little bit polarizing. I'm sort of on the fence about this one. I mean, it's a truck for sure, but does it look too ridgeline for GMC? Is this a rugged something that you're gonna use for work? Oh, and it only comes in one configuration, crew cab, short bed. Also, yes, you do get a front trunk. Chances are if you're buying the Denali, this is not gonna be the beat it up, drive it around on all kinds of stuff, work truck. But you know what, I'd be actually really interested to hear what you guys all think about like driving a super fancy luxury truck in like a work environment. Whatever, tell me in the comments, you always do. This one does ride on the Ultium platform. I feel like this is very ubiquitous now, and pretty much every EV that I drive these days is built on that platform. Now, it does not have a low gear, so I'm not gonna put it in 4 low, but it does have a very advanced torque vectoring system, so you kind of have all-wheel drive, even though with that torque number, I mean, it's probably the equivalent of that low gear. It does come with the Air Ride adaptive suspension, so you can raise and lower the ride height by about 2 inches, which is an awesome party trick. Max height is 8.9 inches, so act accordingly. That will help you get over a few obstacles if there are any in your way. Just don't go overboard. And that 785 pound-feet of torque will power you over a bunch of stuff, but when you lower the truck, it's easier for load-in. It's pretty handy. Speaking of loading things, you've got the Multi-Pro midgate on this, which allows you to haul long items up to 11 feet. It can also still leave room for whomever sits behind you because of the 60-40 split. This is a very cool feature. I mean, you could maybe put a whole couch back there. Max towing capacity is 10,500 pounds, but no one really discusses range when you're towing. That's a test I'd like to see. It also comes standard with the Multi-Pro tailgate, which is a killer thing. And it gets the ProGrade trailering system, which gives you a hitch view, trailer brake controller, blind zone steering assist, and tire pressure sensors, among other features. Seats are very comfortable. I will say though, as a passenger, when my drive partner was driving this very twisty, windy road, there's not a whole lot of support on the side. So I was kind of sloshing around a little bit, but I'm gonna guess that if you're buying this vehicle, like, this is not really the environment where you're not carving canyons in this truck. But as far as the quiet, it's really lovely, it's peaceful. This is definitely a luxurious truck. I think when it comes to the interior, it's Denali level luxury all the way. So the ride on this air suspension does feel comfortable. I've had a pretty good mix of both really super smooth and then really bumpy roads. You definitely still feel like you're driving a truck, so don't worry, you're not gonna feel like you're suddenly driving a Honda Pilot here. But there is something to me that does feel like, like it's definitely tuned for a very, very heavy vehicle. Like it just is, I don't know. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but I need more time with it to kind of decide how I feel. So I've had some more time to think about it, and honestly, to me it feels like the suspension is tuned to have a load in it. I'm not 100% sure that people are really going to be hauling a lot of stuff in this vehicle. So it would have been nice for me to see maybe another setting where the air suspension is a little less bouncy, because I do feel a lot of movement when you're going over imperfections in the road. The Sierra EV Denali gets 4-wheel steering with crab walk. It's an awesome feature on these bigger vehicles because it makes it far more maneuverable into small spots. I will say this though, that rear wheel steering really does help it around turns like this. Very maneuverable, very agile, really easy to direct and to steer. I mean, you kind of have to have it. It's not even an option here, because a vehicle that's this big and that's this heavy, it would drive so heavy without that rear wheel steering that it might just be kind of an unbearable driving experience. Overall, the power feels really good. This is such a heavy truck for sure, but that 785 torque number gets you going quickly. I'm talking 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. I'm not in the lower horsepower truck, so I can't comment on that, and I didn't get a chance to tow, so I'd like to know what that feels like. But honestly, this thing has gusto. It also has a bunch of drive modes: normal or tour. It has an off-road mode, a My mode, which can change settings on the adaptive dampers and other driving characteristics, and also tow haul. You do get regenerative braking here, and it is full one pedal driving. So you have 3 different settings. You have off, completely off, you have normal, and then you have high, which is what I'm on right now. And I actually really enjoy driving, especially on these twisty turny roads with the high on, because you basically never have to get onto the brakes. I also like that the button here, the control, is literally right there. It's kind of a one-touch button. It makes it very handy and very convenient if you decide to change your mind mid-drive. Visibility also in here is just, I mean, you can see everything as, you know, as far as the day is long. With that little back window back there, it's nice and wide, and it's good because this is a big truck. GMC will be rolling out the Sierra EV in an elevation trim and an AT4 model, which is traditionally their more off-road focused trim level. Those are coming early next year as 2026 model years. All right, so we talked about the things that are really big. Well, the price is probably the biggest thing after the range on this. The Edition 1 starts at $99,495. That's a lot of cash. But if you get just the regular extended range, that's $91,995. But if you do get up into the max range version of this, you're getting into 6 figures. It's gonna cost you $100,495. Oof, I don't know. That seems like a lot of money to me. I don't have it, but I'm not buying it. You are, maybe. You can get it in some nice colors beyond white, gray, and black. There's a dark ember, tin coat, and a deep metallic ocean. Those are both nice. Kind of wish we'd had those colors here, but alas. So something else that is really cool about this vehicle is it can kind of act as a generator for you. So in a pinch, if you need to, you could run your house on this for, I think what GM told me was like a week. They have solutions too for charging. Costs about $7,500 for just the charging bundle. There are some government incentives, but that's like a $7,500 package. And the only thing that's a little bit of a bummer is it's only compatible right now with GM vehicles, so you kind of have to commit. But it's still pretty cool that they're doing their own thing.
You're also going to get a bunch of standard safety features that include automatic emergency braking, forward collision alerts, rear cross traffic braking, and traffic sign recognition.
Another thing that of course you're going to get on this is Super Cruise. So that is the hands-free but eyes up level 2 driving system. Listen, that thing now is good, programmed on over 700,000 miles of roads, which is awesome. You can also trailer with this one with Super Cruise, which is incredible. You know, for anyone who's used to it on long hauls, I gotta say, Super Cruise is an actual game changer. It's a great system, it's very reliable, and it comes standard.
Wondering what it's like to tow with Super Cruise? Well, I did it in the Silverado, and you can check that video out here. I say always still pay attention, but this is great to mitigate driver fatigue, and now you've got tons more range. You can take it on a longer trip.
Big truck, big interior amenities, big tech, big range, guys, bigger price. But I don't know, if you're in the market for an EV truck, then definitely check out the GMC Sierra EV Denali. It's well, it's big. To the left, like Beyonce. To the left,